You get the chance to work with people that make decisions that change lives and decisions that affect not just the local base, but affect the Air Force as a whole and, frankly, the world as a whole.
This podcast is a production of Widener Law Commonwealth in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. For more information, visit commonwealthlaw.widener.edu/podcast.
Hello and welcome to Widener Law Commonwealth's podcast. I'm your host, Tara Mead. Among the many opportunities our law school offers to students are externships. It's a great way for students to immerse themselves into a particular legal field, hone their skills, and expand their network. Several Widener Law Commonwealth students have sought out a chance to learn more about career opportunities within the armed forces. Today we'll be talking with First Lieutenant Julia Harrelson, who is the Chief of Adverse Actions for the 436th Airlift Wing at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. She's here to discuss externship opportunities through Air Force JAG, the Judge Advocate General Corps. Julia, welcome to our campus.
No, thank you for having me. This is wonderful here today.
Awesome. Well, first off, I'm interested in learning more about the Air Force JAG externship itself. From what I understand, how does that process begin? Is it usually with an informational visit to meet with potential or prospective students, on campus, or do law students have to file an application first? And are there any specific criteria that they have to have or they have to meet before considering a JAG externship with the Air Force?
So the really cool thing about externships for the Air Force JAG Corps is, unlike maybe applying to be a JAG and an official officer and attorney, you don't have those same physical requirements or physical fitness, so you can just join. If you're a 1L and you're interested in seeing what it's like on a base in a legal office and seeing kind of day in and day out what we do, you can just apply. So we do come to bases like today, or come to colleges like today and discuss opportunities, kind of how to apply, what that looks like. But then really our Facebook page, the Air Force JAG Corps recruiting page, has all of our information and deadlines. And they keep it updated regularly because those deadlines do change. And so anybody can apply and go through the application process and then maybe get a chance to spend a semester at a legal office.
Wow, that's really cool. So I take it that the application process is likely pretty competitive. Can you talk a little bit about what's involved?
So in the application process, we, of course, the JAG Corps looks at grades, looks at involvement, but something I think unique compared to maybe any other externship or opportunity available besides the armed forces is really personal statements, knowing the whole, we say whole airman concept, but the whole person concept. What's your why? Why do you want to do this? Because doing an externship at a base legal office is very different than something in the civilian sector. It offers a lot of different opportunities, and you really get to learn that second core value of ours, which is service before self. What does service actually mean? So I think the unique part is really knowing their why behind what makes Air Force externship different than any other job that they could have.
And are there a limited number of JAG externships available, like depending on the year or semester? How does that work?
So it just depends on the year, what bases have what slots. So right now, Dover Air Force Base doesn't have an externship or have an extern there.
Okay.
When I came in December, we had an extern that was just finishing up the fall semester. So it just depends at different times, the needs of the Air Force, needs of different legal offices, and what people apply from what areas. Because if there's a heavily concentrated area of law schools and there's some bases nearby, those might get more externs than maybe some of your more remote bases.
Okay, that makes sense. So once a law student is accepted, what sort of tasks, I guess for lack of a better word, are they given as an Air Force JAG extern? What sort of things do they do?
So what they can do is help us draft legal reviews. So that's a huge part of my job, is reviewing decisions that commanders make, which is really unique and something you're not going to get in another job. A commander that's in charge of a squadron, which is usually an organization of a few hundred people, and are making a decision or trying to go forward with a different choice, a justice matter, a civil matter, you get to review it. You get to see if it's sufficient. You get to help the attorneys, help the paralegals with that, as well as just researching. We have courts-martial happening all the time. Within the last 6 weeks, we've tried 4 courts-martial.
Wow.
And so to be able to assist in preparing for trial, really understanding how different armed forces courts are than civilian courts gives you a breadth of knowledge. And even if you don't stay with the armed forces and you go in the civilian sector, you're going to have really unique opportunities and really unique experiences to help you.
And I would think, if you were a, average law firm, and I don't want to say average, but if you have a student who has graduated and they have this on their resume, I would think that they would look at them quite favorably for having that sort of experience and being able to, do those different tasks versus, maybe someone that may have done something a little bit different. It almost gives them quite a bit of an edge, I would think.
I would say especially because there's very few, or if maybe any organizations besides another armed forces organization, where you get the chance to work with people that make decisions that change lives and decisions that affect not just the local base, but affect the Air Force as a whole and, frankly, the world as a whole. And you get to be there in the thick of the action, helping attorneys, helping paralegals, help them, make those decisions or advise on those decisions or understand how attorneys advise on those decisions. You just get so many different things because as an attorney at a base legal office, I'm not only trying courts, I'm assisting in writing wills, I'm giving legal assistance appointments every week, I'm helping commanders make decisions on civilian operational law. Every week I get to touch something different. And if you're an extern with us, you get to also be part of that experience of so many different areas that the JAG Corps is in.
So each day that you are a JAG extern with the Air Force, it's something different.
Absolutely. And we're always going to be looking to ensure that you're getting a well-rounded externship, that you are really understanding each portion of the JAG Corps and you're understanding how we work and how we can affect and advise and give timely and credible counsel to all commanders.
How long, is it 10 weeks? Is it longer than that? How long is an externship?
So it just varies depending on the needs of the base. It's definitely for the semester long, and you can always work with your base legal office or with the JAG Corps if accepted and kind of figure out what weeks you need, what does it look like, because you do get credit hours for that externship.
Oh, okay, great. And I know in talking with some of our students who've completed a JAG externship, albeit one was in the Navy, one was in the Army, and they also immerse themselves, in addition to all the different tasks, they immerse themselves directly into the military life. Like they were doing the different exercises and, they were right there, with the people that they were working with day to day and keeping the same schedules. And, we're talking getting up before sometimes dark 30. But what they really got out of it was they felt so much a part of a team. You know what I mean? They felt really, really connected. And they looked back on that experience as, one of their top amazing experiences while they're in law school. And with that in mind, I mean, is that normal? With Air Force, with the externs through JAG, are they encouraged to take part in a lot of those different exercises and activities that that the other members of the Air Force do?
Absolutely, we want our externs to feel like they're part of the Air Force family, and so. At Dover Air Force Base, we PT one morning a week as an office. So if we have an extern, we would love for them to be part of that and to be part of that camaraderie. Some days we're running a 5K. Some days we're playing pickleball. It just depends. And so we want them to be part of that team because they are part of our team that semester they're with us. In addition, we're in a small office, and so we get the chance. So if we have a lunch where we all go out together, we want our externs, we want them to be part of it, to understand really what day in and day out of a military lifestyle looks like. And as well, there are chances for them to be involved or to help and assist in exercises that are around the wing. So we're not just working in a vacuum within our legal office. We are often involved in exercises, maybe seeing how well we can deploy members in an exercise or seeing how well we can work if there's a crisis situation. And if we have externs that year, they're going to be helping us and they can be assisting us in researching and writing legal reviews or just understanding kind of what that looks like if you're part of this Air Force family.
Perfect. So now you mentioned the Facebook page, but where can students get more information in addition to the Facebook page on these externships and law career opportunities within the Air Force?
So the Air Force does, frankly, I believe, a really great job of recruiting through social media. I was recruited through the JAG Corps through the Facebook page because it's an easy way to connect, and you get to actually directly message someone in the JAG Corps if you have a question, and they'll get back to you.
Oh, that's great.
Also
that's
through
great.
Instagram. Of course, if you go to airforce.com, look up, type in for the JAG Corps, it'll show you and have frequently asked questions. But really, our social media is a great way to get involved, especially as deadlines change. Because sometimes if something happens and they push a deadline back or they'll remind someone, hey, We actually gave an extra week for this externship application. That's a really easy way to connect. Additionally, career services offices. So at law schools, we'll leave information. We'll make sure that the career services have all the information for the students, and that takes them to the links, shows them what they need in their application. But it's all through this online portal.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know today, while you're here on our campus, you're going to be talking with students who are interested in a JAG externship or just finding out more about that. And what do you hope is their takeaway, because it sounds like you guys have a pretty busy day today.
My hope is that they just come in with an air of curiosity and understanding that this is different. It's different than applying for a firm job. It's different than applying for a county, working at a county prosecutor's office or a public defender's office. But I think what sets us apart and what makes it unique is service. Like I said before, our core value of service before self. You don't join the Air Force or the Army or any of the armed forces just because it's a job, because you know that there's sacrifice involved. There's big decisions that are involved. There's long hours. There's so much, but you're building something more than you. You're helping the next person that's going to come after you. At Dover Air Force Base, we say we deliver hope around the world. And I think when you realize that's your mission, it makes the day in and day out worth it. And it makes externs we want to see and to help us deliver that hope. Because an externship at a semester at Dover Air Force Base, you would help deliver hope around the world.
And that's amazing when you are able to have an opportunity like that, where it's a chance to do something bigger than yourself and be part of, like you had mentioned before, that the active team environment, and that you're all there for a common goal.
Absolutely, and the uniform that we wear every day reminds us of that common goal. And even if you're an extern and you're not in a uniform, you're going to see it. And you're going to see it not just in your legal office, but if you step outside to go on a walk at your lunch break, you're going to see it when you see a plane take off on the flight line. And you realize everywhere, every single person is working towards that same common goal. So when you're in the legal office and you're working on that legal review, or you're helping an attorney research, you remember that uniform that they're wearing and that you're now part of as well in this externship, you're all helping this team, which is helping the larger team help the larger goal.
Well, that's great. Julia, thank you so much today for your time and information you've shared about the externship or the JAG externships within the Air Force. Thank you so much. Now, students, if you're interested, you can reach out to Dean Antos in our Career Development Office at 717-541-3906. You can also reach out to Professor Simcox. She is our externship coordinator by email at egsimcox@widener.edu. And we also have an exciting scheduling announcement for our listeners. The Latin American Law Student Association will be hosting a new podcast subseries to our main podcast, which is called Cafecito with LALSA. Their first episode will be released in this feed soon, and you'll be able to watch their podcast episodes on the Widener Law Commonwealth YouTube channel. So thank you for listening, and until next time, take care and stay in the loop.
Widener University Commonwealth Law School is the Pennsylvania capital's only law school, with 3 specialized centers of legal scholarship through its Law and Government Institute, Environmental Law and Sustainability Center, and Business Advising Program. Widener Law Commonwealth offers an exceptional learning experience that is personal, practical, and professional. Visit commonwealthlaw.widener.edu for more information.